Welcome to J&R Ministry for kids. When the Lord brought the last plague on Egypt, he told the Israelites to eat a special meal and be ready to leave Egypt quickly. They did not have time to make leavened bread. God's people, the Israelites, had been in Egypt for 430 years. They were treated badly and had to work very hard for no money. They were slaves to the king of Egypt, the Pharaoh. God did not want his people to be slaves and stay in Egypt. He wanted them to be able to come and go as they liked so that they could be free to worship him and have their own land. God sent Moses and his brother Aaron to Pharaoh with a message. The message from God was, "Let my people go." God even caused plagues to happen to Egypt. 9 plagues had happened so far. The Nile was turned to blood. Frogs, gnats, and locusts invaded the Egypt. Animals died and people got sick. There was a huge hailstorm and even 3 days of complete darkness. Still, Pharaoh refused to let the people go. Finally, the time had come for the one last plague. God told Moses that this plague, the 10th plague, would cause Pharaoh to let people go. In fact, this time Pharaoh and the other Egyptian people would beg for them to leave Egypt. And the people would even give them their money and jewelry so that they would leave faster. This terrible last plague would be the death would pass through all of Egypt. It would mean the death of every firstborn person and animal in Egypt. If a person was the oldest in their family when they would die, this would be the saddest plague of all. But God gave Moses special instructions for the Israelites. If the Israelites followed God's instructions, then death would pass over them. Their firstborn children and animals would not die because death would pass over them. This became known as Passover. The first instruction was the people must prepare a Passover meal. This was a special meal, so there were special instructions for the instance. They could not just eat any meat for the meal. They were to prepare a perfect year-old male sheep or goat. Everyone was to kill the sheep or goat on the same day at the same time. Then they were to take the blood from the animal and use a hyssop branch to spread it on top and on the sides of their posts of their door. The blood had a very special purpose because it showed that the people inside were God's people. On the night that the Egyptian firstborn people and animals died, death would know to pass over the people in that house. The Israelites obeyed God. They stayed inside and ate the meal just as God told them to. They knew that they would be safe because of the blood on their doorposts. But the Egyptians were not safe. It was a terrible night for them. The people in Egypt, they knew that God was angry about the way they had treated his people, and they were sad and upset that they wanted the Israelites to leave. They wanted them to leave quickly. In the middle of the night, Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron to the palace. Now, after the 10th plague, he had finally changed his mind. He told Moses and Aaron that the people could leave and that they could take all of their animals with them. Pharaoh wanted the Israelites to leave immediately. So now it's the time to get moving. There were thousands and thousands of Israelites, and they all packed up and left Egypt that very night. They had been working for nothing for many, many years. So Moses passed on God's message that they should ask the Egyptians for silver and gold and clothing. God softened the hearts of the Egyptians so that they gave the Israelites everything they asked for. And finally, after 430 years in Egypt, God's people left the country. They left quickly before Pharaoh and the people could change their minds again. And now for Dave the Donkey with the verse of the day.
Neha, it is I, Dave the Donkey, and I am back, and with the verse of the day. Today's verse is, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. And that's today's verse, kids. See you all next time with another verse of the day. Neha!